Global everything, nigga. That's the motherfucking movement. That's what we running with. That's what we stand for. Shit, whether it's movies, TV shows, we trying to go global.
Hi, it's me with no disguise. Life is hard, but I'm alive. Never sold drugs, but I am dope. So if you would buy, I suppose you and me about to watch my nose grow.
Alright, what's going on, everybody? Now tuning into another episode of Global Everything TV. And first and foremost, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Today, we definitely got a special guest in here. This young lady, I've known for quite some time, for real. Me and her go way back since middle school. She been doing her thing for quite some time on the music. And honestly, I want to say I was surprised when I first heard that you do music. I think it was like probably about 2 years ago I seen you on Facebook. And I seen Destiny the Chef. And I was like, I know Destiny. Then you added the chef on it. And then I seen where you did music. And I checked it out. I'm like, damn, like in middle school, I would have never thought you would have started doing music. And just to see your progression from when I first seen you to now, to you got a big label situation going on. You linked up with Beat Billionaire. You doing real big things for the city. Like, there's a lot of female artists in Richmond that's doing their thing, but I think you surpassed a lot of them. Not just on just the lyrical tip, because you definitely got bars for days, but just on the level that you're on now. Like I know 2017 finna be your year. You already did your thing in 2016, but I already know. And we already see big things coming for you in 2017. And of course, we're going to touch on them. We got the first lady of BDM, Destiny the Chef. How you doing today?
What up? What up? I'm good. I'm really good. I'm blessed. I'm happy that I could, be here during the holidays and be able to see my fam, for a little while I'm here. Plus, just, be with the people who want to be around me.
Definitely. So how long has it been since you've been in Richmond?
You talking about overall or just
Yeah,
right now?
You've been away for a while. How long have you been away?
Well, honestly, I've been away since July. So I went down there in April to meet up with Beat Billionaire. We had been talking since February.
Okay.
But we've been Facebook friends for a minute, and I didn't know I was even on his radar. But he hit me up in February on Facebook and was like, "Send some music." I sent some music. I gave him my number. He hit me up. 3 hours later, after talking to him, he was like, "You my first lady." And I went down there in April, and we chopped it up. We made some music, and it was just history after that. In July, I was like, I packed up everything in my little car, everything I own, and I left, like, seriously, with $20 in my pocket. I ain't have no money saved, nothing. I just really, literally went off of faith.
Yeah.
And everything's just been, every door has just been opening up for me ever since. Just by me living by faith and not hesitating on my blessing.
So I want to ask you this, because I know you did say you went out on faith. How supportive would you say your family was to that decision? Like, did you tell them, like, yo, I'm finna go to Atlanta, I only got $20 in my name? And was they supportive, or they were like, nah, girl, you crazy?
The funny part is, they know I've been at this forever. And I feel like even if people aren't super supportive initially, if people see that you sticking to your guns and this is what anything that you do is something that you super passionate about, I feel like at the end of the day they can't do nothing but respect it. And I feel like they've seen me for the past 10 years consistently grinding on my own, just pushing myself, spending my own money to for a dream that I believe in, a brand that I've built, my name and the shows that I've done, and just continuously seeing me progress. Maybe even if it was just small ways, but they see the progression, period. They were supportive. They knew. They was like, do it now. Like, go.
That's what's up.
They said I should have been left,
Yeah.
But I had to do it when I felt like it was right for me, and I felt like all the chips was just aligned so perfectly. Like, I had a job going down there. I had, somewhere to stay going down there. Plus I had, somebody big in the music industry who believed in me, down there who was ready for me to, ready to just, take over with me and believed in me. Like, I had nobody, that big on that platform to ever believe in me like that, so I prayed and it just hit me like, you gotta go.
So let me ask you this. Do you have a manager in place right now, or you pretty much just doing your own thing?
Nah, I don't have a manager. I'm just literally like Beat Billionaire. He's my mentor,
Okay.
He produces a lot of the records that I do. I still have other producers I use, and I'm open to other producers, but he's like my mentor, and, I call him my coach. Like how, Jermaine Dupri was to his artists, how Dame Dash was to his artists. That's how Beat Billionaire is to me, and I always wanted that type of situation anyway. So I feel like a lot of the things that I prayed for actually came into fruition, like in my life. So that's why I knew I had to step out, because everything that I was praying for was actually coming into my reality.
What would you say the greatest advice he done gave you this far that's helped you the most?
Me and him have a lot of deep conversations about life and music, and he just, he guides me. Like, it's nothing that I feel like I can't talk to him about. But
That's good. Good, y'all got a good relationship outside of music.
No, definitely. Like,
I
think that's important. Exactly. Yeah. I think that's very important. Like, you have to actually I feel like you should like the person that you're working with, not just musically, but just as a person, their character. But advice is honestly just, trust him, just trust his guidance and leadership, and know that, and having faith that he believe in me, and he gonna make it happen. Like, he said he'll go out on a limb for me. You know what I'm saying? So to me, like, just him having his coach is Rick Ross. You know what I'm saying? So having that guidance, passed on to Beat, and then him giving me that knowledge, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's, to me, that's the, the most advice, the best advice, I could take. And then me just putting God first, honestly, above all, and both of us are strong believers, like, so,
We definitely gonna take it back to when you first got started, but I do want to ask you, what did you think when he first posted that picture on Instagram? I think that was the first time I seen it. BDM's first lady, Destiny the Chef, and then everybody just started checking it out, commenting and liking, because I was like blown away, like, damn, she really did do it,
Man, I like wanted to cry, like, honestly, like, I just felt like my dreams was coming true. Like, I feel like all the days where I just, spending my last on videos and putting so much into my craft, and the early mornings and the late nights and the headaches and all the stress was worth it at that very moment. And it just felt like, even though I have a long way to go, that I have arrived in some way. Definitely. And regardless if people want to see it or they don't, you gotta see it, and it just felt good that somebody actually believed in me.
Yeah.
It felt good to have, even though I believed in myself first and foremost, so for somebody else who didn't grow up with me, you know what I'm saying? Like, we weren't best friends, like, but for somebody to just understand my vision, without even having a real conversation with me initially, just made me feel good.
So, like I said at the beginning, I know you since middle school, and you definitely seem real shy in middle school. I know I was definitely shy in middle school. I'm still shy to this day, I ain't even gonna lie. But anyway, I didn't really never think that you would get into music. When did you initially first get into music? Was it in middle school? Was you writing rhymes in middle school? Or it started later?
Well, honestly, like, it started off as poetry. Like,
okay.
So, like, in middle school, I started writing poetry, like, in English class and stuff, like, when we all was doing the little poems and doing the little, all of that stuff. I started doing it, then tapping into it. So that's where I started, like, doing little poems and stuff like that. And then when I in middle school when my mom bought me the First Lady album, Eve's album. That's when like it triggered something in me, and I was just like, right, it was game over after that, because I felt like at that moment like it was a girl that actually was talking about something real, like some real life. When I heard the Love Is Blind track, and that's why I did that on a prequel, but like it just showed me like, wow, it's people who actually want to hear that. Like talking, her best friend got killed by her boyfriend, and people will actually listen to that. Like not just about sex or sexuality, because at middle school I won't really focused on that. Like, but to hear a real story, and it touched me, even though I might not have known anything about that, it was still real, and it touched my heart, and I was like, dang, like I could probably do this, because I know I've been hurt, as a kid, my feelings been hurt and all this, and people will actually listen. So she made me feel something, and it made me want to talk about things and at that moment. So yeah, shout out to Eve.
Yeah, shout out to Eve. What about your name, Destiny the Chef? I know your first name is Destiny. When did the chef come into play?
The chef came into play probably, I don't think I was the chef in high school, but no,
did you listen to a lot of Recon the Chef, or?
I mean, I knew about him. The name didn't come from Raekwon the Chef, but as I got older, I definitely see similarities as far as lyricism and passion and aggression. I don't consider myself a street type of rapper, but I'm passionate, so, and I'm raw with it. Like, I'm a raw lyricist, so I can see what people, would think the streetness, but I'm not a street artist. I don't consider myself a street artist. I've been around a lot of street people, and I narrate a lot of things that I've seen, but I wouldn't consider myself a street artist. But the chef probably came into play like right after high school, like when I was 18 or 19. Like I was in culinary, like in technical school. I was in culinary arts and baking and pastries.
Okay.
And I got my certification in both. And I was real passionate about cooking ever since I was young. I felt like that's a way, to bond with people you love, people you care about, and a lot of families, that's the way, you sit around the table, you cook and you talk and you bond, and that's the way, you kind of grab people's hearts with food, so that really, I kind of took to that growing up. And I love cooking. Like, that's honestly how the chef started, because I was passionate about music and I was passionate about cooking at the same time. And as a kid, you don't know you can actually do both until you get older and you realize you can actually do more than one thing at one time. But I went with music. Music took over, But I just added the chef because I wanted to incorporate both passions.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's some of the things you like cooking, since you say you got a real passion with cooking?
Honestly, like I tell people, like it's nothing that
you can't cook.
It's nothing that I can't cook, but it's the fact that I don't have a specialty. I'm more of the type of chef or person that likes to make sure everything I cook is just seasoned well to the point you don't even want to add any additives on it. Like I call myself a seasoned chef. So I like to make sure my food is so good you don't want to add nothing to it. So whatever I make is gonna just taste. It's gonna be flavorful. It's gonna be full of flavor.
All right, tell the people where did you grow up at, and some of the things you grew up doing. I know you said cooking and doing music.
Well, yeah, most of my life I grew up in Southside, but I went like back and forth, like from I went, I was in Southside Elementary School, then I went to Chesterfield for a year, then I went back to Southside for middle school, then I went for ninth grade, I went to Southside High School, George Wolf, then I went to Manchester for the rest of my years in high school. So it was like back and forth. Then I moved back after high school to Southside, and I've been in Southside ever since, up until I moved to Atlanta. So it's been just back and forth, yeah.
At what point did you say, damn, I could really go somewhere with this music?
When I seen people listening, like when I felt like people was impacted, like inspired, by my stories, because I get my storytelling from Jay-Z. Like, I listen to his stories. He has stories that make you want to listen. And that's where I get, that's where I get my storytelling from. Like, just listening to Jay, and then just using my life as a muse for, to inspire other people. I say I share my struggles so you can be inspired by my strength. So if you know my struggle and you see, dang, like she still look good, she's still pushing, you see, dang, she gotta be strong if she been through all that and she's still going. So I don't have a problem sharing my struggle. And plus, I feel like when you share your struggle, it builds character in you. When you talk about things that hurt you, it loses its power. So at the same time I'm sharing my struggle so you can be inspired by my strength, I'm actually also helping myself heal from the things that hurt me. So, yeah.
How supportive would you say people been to you doing music within the city? I guess since you got with the whole BDM. Has it been all love or any negativity?
No, actually, it's been all love. Like,
that's what's up.
People, I think you can't deny when you really never seen a person put their hand out. Like, I never ever was the type of person that was looking for a handout, was looking for an easy way. I always wanted to earn my respect. And I knew as an MC, especially living in my city, you can't pay your way through with respect. Respect has to be earned, and you got to do that only by showing people who you are. Not proving yourself, but showing yourself. And so I always looked at it like that. Any showcase, any show, I would bare my whole soul on the stage, and wasn't afraid if I was the only girl or it was all girls. I always just knew I had to show who I was to people. And I feel like when you show who you are, you're gonna get people to like you, and you're gonna get people who don't like you, but at least you know the people who like you relate to you, and probably is a reflection of who you are.
What would you say some of your strengths that you got?
I feel like honestly, my strengths to me is the fact that I am vulnerable, the fact that I can show weakness, the fact that I show I am human, the fact that I show that I'm not afraid to show that I've been through things and go through pain. I feel like that's a strength, because a lot of people are afraid to do that. A lot of people want to look strong. A lot of people want to look like they're good and they don't need anybody, or they haven't been through anything, But I'm not afraid to show that, and I feel like that's brave. I feel like that shows strength. So I feel like that's my strength, the fact that I'm not afraid to show where I am in my life, that I'm not perfect, but I'm pushing to be better.
Okay. What about the things you feel like you need to work on? Is there anything that Beat Billionaire might have said, hey, I want you to work on this? Because I know you say he your coach. Anything he told you to work on, or anything you feel in yourself that you want to work on going towards the future?
Well, he's told me he's biased to me. So anything I do, he look at me like, yeah. So, he's been super supportive since day one. So to him, I can't do any wrong when it comes to the music. He loves everything I do. With myself, I always feel like it's room for improvement. I always feel like it's, I can write more, or, I can come up with, better lines, or always find a way to, come up with better metaphors, better similes, better ways to get people to feel my story or understand my pain. I always want to try to grab people's hearts,
That's real.
So I'm always trying to find ways to make my life become more visual musically for people, where I can paint that picture better.
What would you say about the state of music right now? Because I know a lot of people that's really popping out here don't really got bars, and you got a lot of bars, metaphors, wordplay crazy. And do you ever feel at some point that maybe I need to dumb it down, maybe for the radio, or just to get heard more? Like, cause maybe that's what people want to hear. But I know you did say a lot of people like stuff like Love Is Blind, and a lot of people do like real music. I mean, Kendrick showed it, J. Cole showed it, that you can sell being real and being yourself. But is there ever a point where you think maybe I need to cross over for a little bit, maybe not stay in that lane forever, but just to get more people to fuck with what I got going on?
Well, I feel like the beauty about how I'm built is the fact that I feel like I can do anything. I feel like I'm training myself to be able to do everything. You know, I feel like there's nothing I can't do. But at the same time, I feel like I know my purpose. So I feel like it's certain things that I might not want to do, or I might not want to focus too much on, because I know what I represent and what I stand for and what I want my voice to represent, you know. So, you know, I feel like I can do anything, but I feel like I choose to fit in a certain lane so that I can touch certain type of people, you know. So, yeah. But as far as dumbing it down, I mean, honestly, like, I feel like it should be a balance. I feel like it shouldn't be, for me, I feel like the music that I love is the type where people can still be fun, still be lyrical, still can tell a story, a vivid picture, but at the same time, you know, it still is catchy. You know, it's still
Definitely.
fun. It's not too serious to the point it go over people's head, you know. So that's the type of artist I try to be. All around a versatile artist where, you know, I feel like I'm saying something, but it's still fun enough where it's not gonna like go over people's heads to the point they don't get it.
At one point, I would say it was like one main female popping in the game. That would have been Nicki. But now a lot of females are coming out. Does that make you feel better about your chances of really being heard on a larger scale than it did back then, when it was just like one main female rapper that people knew about? Does it feel better knowing that there's other artists that's actually getting recognized on the female side of things?
Well, I never really focused on, you know, that. I feel like I was just happy, you know, it was a female representing females, period. You know, I never really focused on the number, but I always felt like it should be more than one type of woman to represent women, because it's not only one woman in the world, one type of woman, you know. People like to put all women or all men in categories, but I feel like as a woman, you're not characterized by, you shouldn't be just characterized as all women because you have the same gender. I feel like it's about perspective and mentality, and I feel like that's what makes a person who they are, not just, oh, she's a woman, so she just like every other woman, or he's a man, so he's like every other man. I feel like we should be characterized by our mentality and perspectives, and I feel like that's what makes us who we are, not the fact that we have the same private part, like which makes us a woman. You know, I feel like it should be about the perspective of the woman, and I feel like, you know, Nicki Minaj has a certain type of perspective, and I like that. I like who she is because she's who she is. And I respect the Young M.A.s. I respect, you know, the Iggy Azaleas of the world. I respect the Azalea Bankses. I respect the Dej Loafs. I respect the Britney T's. I respect everybody who's, you know, spitting the Dreezy. I respect all of those women. Tink. I respect all of the females who doing it right now, because I feel like, as long as you're being yourself, is somebody, you got a million people just like you with the same type of perspective. You can't take away that million people who feel like Tink, or who feel like Dej, or who feel just like Remy. You know, I respect all of those women. So I feel like it's room for everybody, because it's not one type of woman in the world. And I feel like I got probably a million women who probably feel just like me, who've been through the things I've been through. And maybe they want to listen to Dej on this day, but maybe they want to listen to Destiny the Chef on this day. I feel like it's room for everybody.
Damn, that was real deep. Alright, so I know Rum had a situation with Khaled, and it didn't quite work out. Explain to people what's your exact situation with Beat Billionaire, for the ones that's wondering.
Okay, well, he's like a mentor to me. He's like a coach. Like he's helping me, he's guiding me in this industry, He's helping me make the right moves, like a coach would. Like if you play on a football team, a basketball team, he's showing me the right moves and the right way to move in this industry because he got 10 plus years in this game, and he from our city. He from Richmond, Virginia, but he's been successful, and he's made it, in ways that a lot of people really haven't in our city. And, to have somebody like him guiding me to become successful and showing me the ways to maneuver, him using, his contacts and, just using his platform to uplift me, like that's what he's doing for me, and I'm blessed.
Global Everything TV.